Hi, I'm Doug Hill.
And I'm Dottie.
I'm here to award Dr. Sponaugle on my improvement on my memory, my focus, so many things that are going on right now that I'm thrilled about, because I was told that he can cure Alzheimer's, and I've been told that I have beginning of it, and I don't want to have it. I don't want to leave my wife with being a caregiver and taking care of me later on in life. And since I've started this treatment, I've seen a big improvement in me as far as memory. My personality has changed. I'm gone back to the way I was before the injury, which I had a head injury 10 years ago. It was I worked in a factory that made brewery equipment, beer tanks, and for refining and making beer, and it was a lot of sheet metal work that was used, and we were scheduled to make some parts for a barrel, and I was designated to be the man behind the sheet metal brake that calculates the dimensions of this sheet metal brake. It's a machine, and there was two boys up front that was putting the sheet metal in the brake, and then I would set the dimension on whether it was a 90 degree or 45 or 43 or 32, and that was my job back there. Well, after they got through breaking the piece of metal, this man let this arm go. It was a huge arm that bends this metal, brings it over. Well, he let it go at full force and just snapped and hit me in the right side of my forehead right here. It didn't knock me unconscious. Caused a little bit of a gash in my forehead. And one of the boys that was there remarked, they said, "Boy, you could really take a punch." And I went in the office and they put a Band-Aid on it and some treatment. And I didn't go to the doctor. I finished out the day of work. And well, that evening I went home and I started to have severe migraine headaches. And so I went into work that next morning. And I worked about an hour, and then I couldn't handle it. I couldn't do it any longer. So I told them that I'd like to go to the doctor. So they scheduled an appointment, and I went in and they took an X-rays of my head, and I'd had a skull fracture. And,
that was the PET scan that you had?
No.
Okay.
That was last year.
Okay.
Yeah, this was right after the injury.
Okay.
They'd done the X-ray. And ever since then, my whole life has changed. I have low self-esteem. I'm moody. I have given up a lot as far as social activities go, because I don't like being around people. Very light sensitive. My life has just changed. I'm just not the man that I was before the injury. Mm-hmm. Before, I was easygoing, liked to get out and do things. I was up early in the morning getting things done. My life has changed quite a bit. But since I've started these treatments here, I've seen a big change in me, and my wife has too. And she's probably a better judge of it than I am, because she knows me better than I know myself, and that's a fact. but she could probably tell you more about the improvements than I can.
Going back a little, right after the initial injury, we saw several neurologists who tried to make it look like he was faking, and they were workers' comp guys.
Yeah.
It took us about 2 years to get in to see someone where they eventually did a brain scan, and they showed on the brain scan that there was some frontal lobe damage from that, and that they classified it as being incurable, and that it would never get better, it would only get worse over time. So over a period of years, he saw psychologists and psychiatrists, and they told us that his mental outlook would be different, which it was. He, for a while, was even suicidal. After that, they said that he would have these explosive temper tantrums, and that there would be a whole lot of mental things which were happening as time went on. His memory was severely affected, and over the period of time it got worse and worse and worse. 2 years ago he had a pulmonary embolism that was huge. It was a saddle embolism, and they couldn't break it up medically. They had to go in and do surgery, so they did open chest surgery, and for a period of time he was on a heart-lung machine, which also decreased the amount of oxygen going to his brain. After that, his memory problems got worse and worse and worse. So we eventually asked for more testing, and that was a year ago. They came back with the test that he had mild to moderate Alzheimer's disease. They didn't seem to, other than giving him Aricept and Namenda, that was their total course of treatment. They saw nothing at all. Shortly after that, I went to my eye doctor that I had been seeing for many years, and he asked how Doug was, and I told him what was going on, and he recommended Dr. Sponaugle, said he'd known him for years and had seen the before and after, and said that he thought he could help us, and that was how we got here. Before we came here, Doug would not be able to socialize for more than an hour or two at a time with anybody. He'd get up and leave the room, go lay down, whatever. We didn't go to many places at all. Never stayed out beyond 7 o'clock at night. He was always got to be home in bed. Sometimes spending 16 to 18 hours a day in bed. And then we came here. Hadn't had the boat out in 3 years. Just didn't want to have anything. Was terrified of going out on the boat. So we came here. He had his first treatment on the 23rd of February. Last week, from the 7th to the 11th of March, my son and his wife came down to visit, expecting a very low-key few days with us. The first day we went to the beach all day. The second day we went out on the boat all day. The third day we went to see the Lipizzaner Stallions all day. Got up the next morning at 2:30 in the morning. Took the kids back to the airport. Had to be here for an appointment with the doctor at 11. And didn't, because we're not local, we didn't go anyplace. We just went out to the beach and stayed there till 11 o'clock. Came in and saw the doctor, and he suggested that we go to Virginia for the scans. So we packed up, and on Monday morning left for Virginia. He drove all day from 7 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock at night. The next day he got up and he drove from 7 o'clock in the morning until we got to the clinic at 1 in the afternoon. We went out to dinner the next day, turned around and came back, and we're back here on Thursday about 1:30. So it's been a constant bit of motion for the last 10 days. And he's sociable, he's engaged, he doesn't have that flat look anymore. It's just amazing in a short period of time what's been accomplished. Yeah, incredible. So I can't wait to see, after treatment goes on, what improvements are going to be in the next set of brain scans.
So these brain scans, there's a lot of room for improvement. You can,
see
that
absolutely. But the improvement already has been miraculous. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I got my husband back.
Already, and it's only going to get better.
Yes, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah. On the benzene. Doug has been going to an orthopedic doctor for hip pain for several years. They've been giving him shots for all different kinds of things, trying to get rid of this pain. He had an appointment a week or two ago with the doctor, And we told him that the shots hadn't been working, but did mention that since we'd been here, the pain hadn't been so bad. So he asked about that treatment that we were getting for that and what we were being treated for, and we mentioned the benzene, and he said benzene can cause a lot of the pain that Doug's been having. So he requested that he stop treating him until the treatment here is complete, to find out if and what we still need him for at the time that it's over with. So he was very complimentary about that too.
That's good. And
So, yeah, we're looking forward to
we'll
it.
visit
Looking
back
forward
in a
to
couple weeks. When you come
Absolutely.
back, we'll take another progress video.
Okay,
Very good.
that sounds
All
great.
right. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.